Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is day 6 of the Halloween series, and we are going to be creating a card with a glow. So we are going to be using the Witch's Brew stamp set from Trinity Stamps with the coordinating dies, our Olo markers to color with, and we're going to be doing some ink blending. So we're going to get started. And like I was saying, the Halloween card series is going on, and it's actually more than cards this year. We're doing a video every day up until the end of the month. So videos 1 and 2 are already out. They came out earlier in the month, and then starting past Monday, we started every day of the week. So you'll find all those videos. All right, I'm going to start with my background first, or background stamp, because I'm going to stamp this image in for us. So we're going to kind of put her like right in there. And then we're going to go ahead and put our little cat down in here also. And I'm going to stamp that. This is just for placement. I have already stamped it out, so it would be ready for coloring. But I wanted to stamp this out just for placement when we start our glow. And I just need to know where she's going to be. So we got that stamped out. So here are the colors I've already picked out to color with. And here's my stamped image. All right, I'm going to start with the darks, or her hat. Actually, let's start with the cauldron. I'll move that over to the side. We're going to go with CG9. And we're going to add that shadow right in there, in the crook of the cauldron and right underneath, because that's where the shadow would be cast from the flames. With the cauldron, you not only have the the shadows from the light from the top, you're also going to have the light from the fire. So it's going to add a little different light source there. Mostly the things away from the fire would be in shadow. So we're going to go ahead and add that in. We'll go ahead and finish our C9 up here. That way we can get all this colored in one time. That's going to be shadowed. So you're going to have a little bit of a shadow right along there. So I'm just going to outline right there. And I'm going to add just a little shadow right there where her head would be, because that light would be bouncing up in there. See, for our kitty, we'll go ahead and do him also, since we got our C9 out. You'd have more shadow back here, our feet here inside, and on our little tail we would have some. All right, I'm going to move to my C7, or CG7, I'm sorry. That's going to be, blend that out. We're going to start blending up in here. I'm just going to flick that to the center. Down. I have a little there and underneath to bridge that gap. And then on our cauldron, we would have just a little here, a little there, and right in here. And then the rest of this, I'm just going to blend out. I'm going to go very lightly with that. All right, for my cat, and blend him out here. Leave a little spot for his little ear. And actually, I think when I colored it the first time, I think I only did the C7, C5, and C3. So we added in the C9. So now we're going to go ahead with our C5, or CG5, I'm sorry. And the shadows in there, there, and here. And remember I told you the other day that if you have already, or I will tell you, I can't remember, but if you're blending and your alcohol marker dries, if your alcohol has dried out of the paper, just wet the entire area and it'll help blend it a little bit better. That's one way to get around that. So I'm going to blend out our little kitty here. We'll blend in our cauldron. I'm going to add some more color into that. So just going to blend that out. Then I'm going to come in with the CG3. And we'll blend the rest of this. And then we're going to let the paper dry a little bit so we can add in the flame, the highlight with the flames. I could talk. We would be doing something. All right, there's our little cat. All right, let's work on our, we'll go ahead and do her little skin. So we're going to start off with our darkest color, which is going to be the OR 3.7. And because her hair, under her bridge of her hat would be mostly in shadow, we're going to go ahead and add that in. And actually, I'm going to go just a little bit darker with that and go with the OR 3.8. And then I'll blend that out with the 3.7. I'm going to add just a little bit right along the outline there. On the side of her face. All right, we're going to switch to our OR 3.4. It's our mid-tone of our skin tone, our next darkest color. Just going to blend that. And just a little under there. Under her lip. Extend that out just a little bit more. Have a shadow right there. Now I'm going to switch to our 4.4. This is OR 4.4. Blend that out a little bit. And move that up. And then my lightest color is going to be our OR 4.2. And I'm going to blend that all in there. And this is part of her face would be the most lit up. We are going to add a little glow in there later on. But we'll do that when we get to it. All right, so there's her little skin. We're going to add some little rosy cheeks. I'm going to go ahead and just do the RO3. I'm going to do that for her lips as well. And then I'm going to blend that out with the RO2. Just enough to lighten it up and blend it out. I'm also going to use those same colors on my cat's ears to add a little life into those. All right, for her outfit, I'm going to go with V 2.8 as my darkest color. So we're going to go ahead and start back in the darkest area back here. There would be a little bit of a shadow up under here. Not much, just a little. Then I'll blend that out with V 2.6. We'll blend that up into her little arms. The only problem when you're working on your glow, you need to remember what colors are your complementary colors, because they're not going to give you they're going to turn brown. And I had that problem a little bit with the violet, but it worked out fine, because the green and there's not enough pink, or there's too much pink in this violet combination that caused it to turn a little brownish or neutral is what we call it in the art world. All right, I'm going to do those same colors on her shoes and color those up. So I just went with the V 2.8 and our V 2.6. For the most part, I just did a 3-color blend on these because it's not a big area to blend out. And I'll go with my V 2.4 to finish blending. So just blend that out. Super, super cute. For her hair, might as well go ahead and color that up. So we'll go ahead and put the shadow in there. And I did not do too much to the hair. I just kind of gave it a flat bit of color. I didn't think that I needed too much. On the shadow, though, on this one ponytail I'm working on now, it's going to be more on the top because we're going to have that cashmere light on the bottom. So that's something I always think about, is where your light is coming from. Go ahead and do our OR 3.7. And then I'm going to blend that out with my 4.6. These numbers take a little bit getting used to. They're a little different than what I'm used to talking about. All right, for our skirt, we are going to use an orange combination. And this is the one I did change up some. For my darkest color, I'm going to go 027. It's going to be my darkest color back there. And I'm going to add that where I'm going to have most of the shadows. And then I'm going to go 025. When I first colored this up, I didn't have this particular color combination, and then later got it. So that's why I'm changing it up a little bit. This one looks more Halloweenish to me. And this is the 2.4. To me, it's more of it's a bright Halloweeny color. All right, we need to do the same thing to her collar. So we're going to add in that 2.5 there. And then our 2.4. For the bottom of her boots, I'm just going to go in with the CG7 and just fill those in. All right, for our spoon, so 4.6 is my darkest. It's going to be where in there. And actually, I could get by. We could do just the 4.6 and 4.3 and not have to worry about anything. And now we're going to work on the fire underneath, and then we're going to add our glow underneath the cauldron here. Okay? Hope you are still with me. I know this is a little longer than normal. My darkest color is R04. I'm going to put that in first at the bottom. And then I'm going to use a little bit of R03 because fire has all these colors in it. And this is more of a reddish, an orangey color. 1.3. That's the color I need. So we're going to add that in. And then actually right there, I'm going to go ahead and add in a little bit of that cast light with this color and along that edge over on this side. So that's going to be casting in there. And then my last color is Y22. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in, blend those together. And then I'm going to cast that up into the cauldron as well to kind of blend those colors together. You may have to work at it a little bit, but you can get it to blend. And if you need to, you can always come in with the O22, or 12, I'm sorry. That way we get our nice little cast light from the fire down there. And we can always come back in with a little CG3 and blend that in together a little bit. Green cast bubbling brew here. So we're going to use YG16. I'm just going to add a little bit of those right there, and I'm going to start casting a little bit of light underneath around here. I did do that on her legs as the darkest color. I'm going to switch over to YG14. Fill in that. Add in that color to my glow. Anywhere light's going to be hitting, I'm going to add that in and add that onto her boot. Around the top of our cauldron here. Step into her hand. Right there on her sleeve. To her shirt a little bit. Then I add that little bit onto her skin underneath her little nose. What is that called? Oh my God, y'all. We're going to add that into the back of that shoe back there. And I can add a little bit in here underneath that hat because there would be a little bit of light hitting it right there. So we're going to use 4-2. I'm just going to blend that together a little bit, work that in. And I did grab the right color. This is where it's just a matter of working everything together. Okay. So let's see, we need our violet, our lightest violet, which was V23. Just want to get everything nice and blended. It's nice and blended. 2-4. So we have a nice little transition between the colors. And see, this orange did not gray out as much as the other one did. So that's perfect. I also need to add a little bit of that cast green onto our little kitty over here. This is where he's going to be standing. Blend that on his little face. All right, so there is my colored image. Now we're going to go ahead and work on, I'll cut this out with the matching dyes and we'll work on our background. We'll have this posted on the coordinating blog post also, along with all the color combinations. All right, now I'm going to pull in my Make Art Station and I'm going to add a little adhesive on the back of that. Put that on here. And I'm going to start off with the glow. So I'm going to use some Distress Oxide inks for this. I'm going to start off with my lightest green, which is going to be Twisted Citron. And because that is going to be coming from around the cauldron, we are going to add that right in there. And then I'm going to give it a little bit more of life with some peeled paint, and then a little bit of mowed lawn around there also to add into that shadow. Now we're going to come back and add some more. There we go. Now I'm going to take my peeled paint, or I'm sorry, mowed lawn, and I'm going to add a little underneath here. So I want it to look like she's kind of standing on a hill maybe. And actually I'm going to darken that color combination up just a tad on the edges with some rustic wilderness, because our glow would be coming from here and around, so it's not going to be as light. All right, for around there, I'm going to transition this into a blue color. For our night sky, we're going to transition this into a blue. So we're just going to blend these two colors together. I'm using, this is Blueprint Sketch. I wanted to start a little brighter before I added it in. And I'm just going to kind of go around and blend those, make sure those are nice and blended. Just till I get the blend that I want. So I'm just going to kind of go back and forth. Now I'm going to move into a little bit of a darker blue. Move in, because we're getting darker as we go up and less saturated. I'll move into some Villainous Potion up here. And blend those together. And then my last color is going to be Black Soot around the edge. On the edge up through there. And then also I'm going to come down around through here. Also to blend that in. And add some down in here because of where the night light would not be hitting in there. We'll blend that. And then we'll come back and blend these. Just using what's on my brush or on my blending foams. Add more of our Black Soot up here. We want that to be nice and dark up in there. I'm going to bring in a little bit more our Villainous Potion. And we're going to add in a little bit more Twisted Citron. Down in there. Blend that in. Just getting it where I like the way the way it looks. It's blending away. Get it nice and nice light source going. Since we need some little stars in our sky. So I'm going to take a little iridescent spray. Kind of spritz that on just a little up in the top. Also, since I already have these out, we're going to add a little mica spray in there too. I'm going to use the Hocus Pocus. I mean, since I already had them out, might as well use it. Okay. Now, I'm going to let that dry for a little bit and get a pencil. I particularly like that. I want it to be more like that. So I'm just going to cut below my pencil line. Just like this, just around. Now I'm going to come in right in there with our Twisted Citron. I'm going to switch to mode lawn. It's really the same thing way you would color a anything night is pretty much the same as you do the day, besides the amount of shadows you have. That's pretty much the only difference between a night scene and a day scene. So it's really just the amount of light that's hitting. Let's see. I'm going to add some of that dark in there since there's going to be less light down in here. There. Now. Nice and pretty. All right, I just remembered we need to stamp our sentiment. So we'll go ahead and do that. That way we can die cut that also and then put everything together. All right, so we have a special brew for you, wishing you a happy Halloween and best wishes on your birthday. So this is a great set. You could do any, especially for birthdays and Halloween and for during October, good set for that. But I'm going to do wishing you a happy Halloween. And actually, before I even do that, I want to add in some green on that paper. I want this to match, so we're just going to go direct to paper right there. Make sure it's lined up in there. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that in VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink because it does go well with the oxides. And it always gives you a nice crisp sentiment. All right, let's see which one of these this is. First try. All right, let's cut that out. And then we're going to build our card. I'm going to cut this down just a little bit because it is currently 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I don't want it to be completely the card front. So I'm going to cut it down just a little on all 4 sides. And that way we don't lose anything. And I could always mat it if I wanted to. All right, here's our little heel. So I'm going to kind of put that where I want it to go. So I'm going to pop that up, I think. I'm gonna put it right in there. And then I'm going to mark the back because I want to put tape only through there. I can just have it in the area that it's going to fit on. Super easy, right? Right. I'm just going to go ahead and peel those off. And I'm going to add liquid glue on there so I can wiggle that around. And we'll go ahead and just kind of do it this way since I kind of know where it's going to go now. Maybe before I push it down, I can actually make sure. See? We'll go ahead and cut that off. With our nice long 9.5-inch scissors. It's our little heel. All right, now we know she's going to go in here. If you wanted to color the area in there, you could. It's all up to you. Depends on what you want to do. I know some people don't like having the white showing. So that's up to you. Just kind of see where I need foam tape at and where I don't. Just want to make sure we're nice and supported. Probably should cut straight. That would help. That would help a lot. If I actually cut things straight, which I know how I feel about that word. All right, now let's peel these off and we'll go ahead and line her up. And then I can add the kitty, which will have to have just a little bit of foam tape. Where is our kitty? Oh, it's over here. I forgot where my kitty was. My foam or liquid glue, and I'm going to add liquid glue under here because it is sitting on top of our other piece. So I'm just going to line that up where my stamped image is and put it in place. Actually, the only thing I need for foam tape for with the kitty would be behind his little tail. I think he sits up high enough that it's not going to really matter. Yeah, see, I can hide that completely right there. Then we'll add our sentiment in just a minute. I'm going to go ahead and add this to my card front. I was going to do this instead of vertical, do it the other way, horizontal. But then I already stamped and ink blended, so it is what it is. All right, there's that. I'm going to go ahead and add my sentiment. I'm just going to add it right under here. And then I am going to go ahead and just color Add some of that green in there to color over the lines. We'll have to do a little bit better matching to blend it in really well. So I'll start off with this color. We got our nice little glow going on. Luckily, most of this is green. Here, and we'll transition into blue. All right, to match that color, we're going to come in with a little yellow, more yellow, because that's a little bit more yellowy than what we have. So I'm just going to come over it with Y23 and blend in that color. Glaze over what we got. Doesn't have to be perfect, just help it blend a little. I had a feeling that was going to be better. All right, let's see. I'm going to add, I go B26 first, and then I'm going to blend in some green. Dull it down a little bit. Yeah, just going to add some gray there. Well, it dulls that down a little bit and helps it blend in a little bit better. All right, to finish off my card, I'm going to add some Magic Rock Rhinestones from Trinity Stamps. I was going to say, as soon as I find my pickup tool, I don't see my Trinity one, so I'm just going to use one that's on my desk. It's here somewhere. I know it's here somewhere because I just used it. I'm going to do 3 up in the top and 2 at the bottom. And we do a couple of the different sizes. A real small one. Right there. So we need one more down there at the bottom. And the fun thing about those is they have that red cast and they also catch what's around them. All right, let's add our gel pen highlights. Have a little right there. Our cat. Our boot a little on her dress. All right, I'm not going to go crazy with the highlights today. I am going to blend that in a little bit more. Dull that down just a little bit. blue's a little bright, so we need to dull that down just a tad. Same thing with some of our green. We're going to go ahead and just kind of blend that down. I'm just using my gray markers to help with that, to dull it down just a tad. My markers are a little brighter than what the background is. So that's a good way to always dull stuff down, is adding those grays back in there. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that in there. There, that's much, much better. All right, I did notice I needed to add a few little highlights to our bubbles here to make those pop. All right, there's a closer look at the card, and I will see you guys in the next video. If you like this video, you're probably going to like yesterday's video, which is right over there. See you in the next one. Bye, guys.